4x8 trailer. I want to turn it into a not really off-road but semi-off-road camping trailer to pull behind my truck. My wife said I should make a video of this, so here I am. Been using this trailer for a few years. I had the rooftop tent already for it. The 4x8 trailer that I picked up from, you get it from like Lowe's or wherever. I'm gonna go over some of the mods real quick. Then I'll go through like the build process a little bit with other clips I have. Added the wheels and tires to it. They are 205/75 D14s that seem to fit under there pretty good. You can see here I cut out the fender, so clearance for whenever I hit bumps so it doesn't bottom out or scrape that. I added this table, of course. I've been tinkering with things and keep adding little bits here and there. I built a frame behind here, and it just held up with cam straps. I can kind of show you how that deploys later in the video. The frame is relatively simple to build. It's just some treated lumber back there that I bolted to the frame, and it's just got some barn door hinges behind there so it can pivot on that. And then this comes down and rests on the wheel for more support. The wheel well for some more support. The base of the trailer has a couple layers to it. I'll go to the back so you can see that. I've treated plywood here. The second layer of the subfloor is horse stall mats. And then all around the outside of that, I bolted down these little tie downs. I've also added these stabilizing arms back here on each side, so that we have that support for when it's off the truck. Also, to get more clearance, I flipped the axle, and that raised it probably about 5 or 6 inches plus the tires. So it's sitting probably about a foot higher than before. It was super low to the ground. Awning I built, it's a 9-foot awning with telescoping arms. It's held on with some, just like it's on a T-track, and I have some washers and bolts behind there holding that to the telescoping arms. Next, I'll just go into a time lapse of setting it up so you kind of get an idea of it.
So in a build like this, you could use any rooftop tent. In this example, I have my 3-person tent on there. Since then, I upgraded to a 5-person. Takes about 5 minutes to set up.
So I bought this little trailer. It's a 4x8 trailer. I want to turn it into a not really off-road but semi-off-road camping trailer. I used to have a cap, and it got kind of inconvenient with our rooftop tent, so we're going to build a frame on this trailer, mount the tent to the top, and be able to drop the trailer, camp out, have our vehicle to move around when we need to. So far what I've done, I flipped the axle. I'll show more detail of that in a little bit. I'm gonna put some bigger tires on it. Then I'm gonna have to modify the fenders to fit those tires. And then I'm gonna do a plywood floor, and on top of that I'm gonna do some horse stall mats, just to have a rubber protection. Things won't slide around as much. So flipping the axle, basically what that is taking the axle from the top of the leaf spring and moving it to the bottom of the leaf spring. Flipping axle, you got to put a new bracket on the top of the axle. You can't use the existing. The axle on these trailers, as you can tell, have a bow to it, and if you don't put that new bracket on the top of the axle when you flip it, that bow will be reversed. It'll be kind of the wrong way. So as you load this trailer, it's designed for the axle to flatten out. I have one of those brackets on like e-trailer for like $5. It's not bad. And you need one for each side. You could use the existing hardware that's on the trailer, but I bought a kit for like $30 on Amazon, and it came with everything I needed to flip it. The only thing you need is a welder and a little bit of knowledge on how to do that. And I would recommend, after you're done welding and doing all the metal work, to paint it with some rust protection, because you got to grind all that down. You don't want it to rust away. As you can tell, a little bit of an upgrade there. You're gonna get more ride height out of it. Black looks better too. It's like I'm gonna have to, once I set this down, there's gonna be a little bit touching here, so I'm gonna have to take an angle off of this just to get the clearance that we need for the bigger tires. Should be pretty simple. I taped off where I wanted to cut, just as a little guide, kind of keep it even. Taking a cutting wheel, just following this line, getting close, wiggling it, and then breaking it off. And then I'm going to go around, smooth out the edges, touch it up with a little bit of rust-proof paint, slap the tires back on, and I'll be done for the night. Took the angle grinder, got that nice, clean, smooth edge. Now I'm going to touch that up with some paint because that'll rust so quick. Got some surface cleaner and some paint. I used, it's called, I didn't start it yet, but AGS Rust Solutions. They say you could paint right over rust. I don't know how true that is, but I did also prep it with their surface cleaner. Okay, so I'm building the frame now. We have these corner brackets, taking a carpenter square, squaring them up, punching the holes, marking the pieces to match, using a hole punch or a center punch here to mark those holes. Then I'm going to start drilling them. Got to build the other side, and then we'll start framing it up on the trailer to figure out where we want the cross pieces to go. Having a drill press makes straight holes a little easier, you know. Right now we're just putting the pilot hole in. Yep. Put it up with these magnets. Measured about 1.5 feet from the end to the start to the back crossbar. I forget what the measurement is at the front.
Gotta watch its flexing actually a little bit. When you do that, you might want to put a washer on that bottom here.
Tomorrow I'm gonna paint it from just on the trailer. Some people might take it off and paint it, but I'm just gonna paint it on the trailer. One thing I recommend doing is labeling. So this is like my top 7, top 8, so on. So when you do go to put it back together, all your holes match up with the right pieces that you marked earlier. I put this whole rack together and I realized the tent was way too high for the stability of the trailer. It needs to be moved down a little bit. I wanted the finish height to be about as tall as me, which I got to that, but I realized it was gonna be too top heavy with the tent up there, so I'm cutting it down 10 inches, or no, sorry. They were at 50 inches and I'm bringing them down to 41 inches, so this puts this like at about 42. It's gonna be shorter than me, so I'm gonna have to duck to get under that, I think, but I feel way more comfortable at this height traveling down the road at highway speeds without it wanting to tip over. Next thing I'm doing, 3/4 inch plywood. It's treated plywood, and then on top of that we're gonna do horse stall mats. That'll probably be about 150 pounds of weight or more down there, so that'll definitely help with stability too. Okay, I am now getting ready to put the base down in the trailer. I pre-measured all these holes, or the cutouts I need to do on each corner, and the 2 hinges for the tailgate. Started cutting a couple of these out. They're ready to go. Then I'm going to bolt that down. I'm using a reciprocating saw, I think they call it. Just something cheap from Harbor Freight. I think you get one of these for like 30 bucks maybe. Once I get all those cut out, I'm going to lay it down. Bolt it down. I'm probably going to do like countersink a few holes so the horse stall mats. So those horse stall mats can lay flush. There won't be any bumps. And then I'll hold those down with probably some wood screws and just sink it down through the rubber a little bit. I ran a large bolt through the plywood and then used a large washer, locking ring washer, and an additional washer to get it to mount to the bottom of the trailer. This is my first time setting this tent up at a campsite. I practiced at home once, so let's see how it goes. It's a 5-person tent. It's pretty big. I don't know the exact dimensions. It's simple. It's just got all these clips around the outside. Unclip all of them. Put this in the truck. So I just push the ladder over where I can grab it on the other side. This up, and on the inside I just have one like tension rod. Gotta reach in, unfold it. But it's basically set up now, ready to go. And we got a place to sleep that quick. Not bad. This table was something I always wanted because I hate carrying a table with me and pulling out of the truck and setting it up, so it was just nice to always have one with me. So I have just some lashing straps around here to hold it up. I'll just undo those, pull them out. Just like that. Got your table. So if I had my awning open too, of course it would come out over all of this. And like I said, I have a room that can come up into this awning too. I'm not gonna set that up today, but it's like a 10 by 8 room, so you got 80 square feet in there. And you could fit a bunk bed on this. If you still want to use this table, you can fit a bunk bed over here with cots and still use the space to change, cook, and do everything inside of there. So you could sleep like 5. You could sleep like 5 up top if you wanted to get cozy, and like another 4 down here, probably like 9 people in the setup. Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching the trailer build video. It was a fun project and we've been enjoying it a lot. If you have any questions, just drop them below in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks. Have a good one.